YouTube! This is Becky from Becky Writes, and this is Becky Reads, and this is my Genrethon TBR. I heard about Genrethon from Brittany from Under the Radar Books. She's one of the 4 co-hosts that are leading Genrethon this year. I will link their announcement video in the description below so you can check it out. Basically, Genrethon is running from April 10th to April 17th, and it is an opportunity for us to read broadly and out of our normal genres. I think the goal is to read at least 3 separate books from different genres. So you could read like a collection of short stories and then a Western novel and then a science fiction. You could read a YA contemporary, an adult mystery novel, and a play. And I think the idea is that we are reading outside of our normal genres, or at least switching up the genres in which we normally read. This really appeals to me. I am on a quest to not only read what I love, which is fantasy. Right now I'm in a YA fantasy kick, but fantasy is my normal go-to, and I'm gonna try to test out some other waters, and this is my potential TBR. I am making this video because I'm participating, but I don't want to be bound to this TBR because I have several books of different genres on my shelves, but these are the 3 books that I am leaning towards for Genrethon. So right now I'm in the middle of reading the Lunar Chronicles. I have just started Scarlet and I'm really enjoying it, and I suspect that I will finish Scarlet and Crest before the Genrethon starts. So if I haven't already read it, I'm gonna start Genrethon with a novella, Fairest by Marissa Meyer. This is the novella that is the backstory of Queen Lavanna, and like I said, having read Cinder in the beginning of Scarlet, she is like my favorite villain right now because she's like so evil. And having just read Cinder and Scarlet, she is like #1 on the villain hit list right now. I mean, this woman. I don't think I've read any novellas this year, and so that will be a different genre as far as length. So this is a YA fantasy, so I wouldn't be reading any more YA fantasies this week, so it'd mean putting winter off, but that's okay. So Fairest is potentially one of the ones on my list. I am aching to read something light. I suspect after reading Fairest, I will be ready for a little bit of a change of pace. So I am thinking of picking up Good Luck Girls of Shipwreck Lane by Kelly Harms. Now this is an adult contemporary novel that follows 2 Janine Browns who both register and win a year's stay at Christmas Cove, Maine in this beautiful house, and they show up and they realize that they both had been chosen, or they both had been notified accidentally, and so both Janine Browns decide to move in and spend a year getting to know each other and getting to know the tiny community of Christmas Cove. I think this will be fun and light and just jolly and probably a nice relief and change from reading the Lunar Chronicles. Now, I don't generally read contemporaries. I've intentionally purchased more of them than I would normally, but that has been an effort to try to get me to read more than just my fantasy. So this would be one of the potential contemporaries I could choose. The next book I really want to get around to, and it will be a great time to say no more excuses, and that is Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. Now, this is my most intimidating book on my intimidating TBR book tag, and this will probably count as my TBR jar challenge for the month if I do read it. This is the story of the last woman who was executed in Iceland, and the story of her trial and how it came to be. You go in knowing that she is executed, that's a historical fact, but this is how all of that happened and what led to her trial and what led to the way that they voted about it, and just the sort of human relationships and the human dimension to execution. This is adult literary fiction, and I know this is going to give me a lot of feels, so I've been kind of stalling picking it up, but I do think that Genrethon would be a really great time to pick this one up and read it because adult literary fiction, I do enjoy it, but I don't read enough of it, and it will be a great way to wrap up that week of reading. And my 4th potential candidate for Genrethon is The Book of Speculation by Erika Swyler. Now this is an adult magical realism, and I have only read one magical realism this book, and it was a YA. So this is definitely staying out of my normal reading habits of reading a lot of YA. And it follows Simon Watson, who is a librarian who receives a mysterious, antiquated book that seems to have really creepy prophecies that describe the ways that the women in his life have died. His grandmother, his mother, his aunt. And one of them seems like a prophecy that might be foretelling his sister's death. And he has to go on a journey to figure out what's going on and if he can find her and save her before the terrible happens. This sounds really wonderful and is something that I definitely want to read, and so I may not get to it. I don't know. I am adding it to a potential TBR list. So these are the 4 potential books that I might read for my Genrethon TBR. I do want to say that I want the freedom to pick and choose when I get to Genrethon, so I may not read any of these. I do definitely want to read Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. That is a huge priority for me to get to, but everything else, I don't know. I might read an Agatha Christie mystery. I've been wanting to read one all year. I did go to the library and check out a couple of books, so I have the first 3 books in the Percy Jackson series, so I may read the first one of those. I haven't read a middle grade book since January, and I might read some poetry. I have a couple of chapbook books that I haven't finished reading and I could definitely read through. Who knows? I think the exciting thing about Genrethon is picking books that you normally wouldn't reach for and reading out of your comfort zone and experimenting, and I'm excited to have a time and a place set to do that. All right, so are any of y'all participating in Genrethon? I would love to know if you are. Please leave me a comment letting me know if you are participating and what you are planning on reading, maybe what your top book that you plan on reading is, and maybe what genre you're most anxious to pick up for Genrethon. I know that there are a couple of genres that I'm kind of staying away from, like suspense and horror, but who knows? I mean, maybe now is the time to read Carrie. I don't know. We'll see. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!